Today in the first session, we have Dr. Sandip Bhomik with us. Dr. Bhomik did his PhD, did his BSc in physics from Bangobashi College, Kolkata, and master degree from IIT Guwahati. Then he started his PhD in experimental high energy physics from Vishwabharati University in collaboration with TIFR Mumbai and CERN Switzerland. After getting PhD, he has done postdoc in Nizar Bhubaneswar. Then he moved to NICPB Tallinn, Estonia for his second postdoc. After 2 years, he has got the prestigious Mobilitas Plus postdoctoral research grant from the Estonia Research Council. He has done his PhD on CMS experiment at CERN and still continuing with the same CMS experiment, staying part of his time at CERN in Switzerland and other part at host institutions. Now he will talk about online system to overcome the impact of COVID-19 on higher education. Sir, please proceed.
Thank you very much for a nice introduction. Okay, let me present my screen.
Yes, start.
Okay, first of all, thanks a lot to the organizers for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share my views with such a large number of great, knowledgeable and respectable participants. I am not an expert on this topic, so I will tell you the collection of views by many experts. And for more details, you can have a look on the links in my slide. And to mention that, I have sent the slide. I think slide is available on the web page also. So during the talk also, people can have a look on the slide if the video is not visible well. So I apologize for my mistakes and please correct me if I say anything wrong. I am doing research in experimental high energy physics using huge computation for last 11 years. And during this time, I have been associated with world's most advanced research organization and society. And that's why organizer may thought I could give some lights of using online system, etc. But I am really nervous to give my first public talk outside my subject. I have actually heard the Professor Molla Roy's excellent talk in yesterday, and he has already said everything what I will tell now. Actually, my talk will be a subset of his talk. I have made the slide day before yesterday, and I was thinking after seeing his talk that do I need to give the talk again or not? Because it is not possible for me to make another presentation in a short time and on the topic which is not my special subject. So I was thinking, and then I realized that I can give the talk for two reasons. First, I heard that although the number of registered participants is more than 700, but only a maximum of a 250 could join in Google Meet and few joined in YouTube in yesterday's meeting. So today we may have many participants who have missed the yesterday's discussion. And secondly, I have made the talk keeping in mind the problems faced by the people outside the city, because I think online education system is going on quite well in city, even at the primary school level. So the people who are not familiar enough and comfortable with the latest technologies, and for the people with lack of good internet connection and infrastructure. About the present online systems with its some benefits and drawbacks, and then I will share some of my experiences with CERN and Estonia to motivate you to use the online system. And finally, I will talk about the new hybrid education system and its implementation with lack of infrastructure. So, if people are following the slide, I am on slide number 3. So, now I want to talk about the online education in the age of information revolution. The term information revolution describes current economic, social and technological trends beyond the industrial revolution. And this can also be called by different names such as digital revolution, computer revolution, software revolution, internet revolution, and different experts likes to call it with different names with some their preferred logic. But I don't want to go in detail about that debate. So, sorry?
Yes, continue.
So, the point is the land is very much fertile for habits to change, and some part of our society has already changed their habits through last 2 decades or more. So we can have a quick look on the evolution of education system, starting from the Gurukul system where one master taught everything to a few people. Then after a long time, traditional university system was started and it also evolved with time, and after that distance learning education was already started without any use of online system. Goes by many names such as computer based training, web based training, internet based training, online training, electronic learning, mobile learning, or as computer based distance education.
Continue.
Online education system actually include audio, video, text, animation, virtual training environment, and live chats with professors. So this online, I am moving to slide number 6, and this online education system has many benefits, and I have listed some of them here. So one of the benefits is that one can gain the knowledge sitting at home, no need to travel or no need to stay in the campus, and it is very much flexible. There is no fixed timing for the classes and can take class at your own preferred time. So people who are already working also can carry on the study, and even people can attend the lectures from their preferred places also, like sitting at park or cafeteria, etc. So, and people, so there is no chance of miss the class. They can gain at any time, and they can have more explanation because there are so many lectures available on the same topic, and students need to invest less time, and they don't need to, as they don't need to travel or wait for the classes, and they can use their saved time for their hobbies, for developing some of creative or innovative ideas, and it also requires less time also, and certainly it is less expensive. I don't have to pay for things such as classroom space, accommodation, activity fees, books, or other supply. So, and there are many. So,
Continue.
so as I already said, that online higher education has been around for more than a decade now. Then the question is, why did it not take over the conventional education system in the pre-COVID era? So the inertia and the freedom attitude of existing educator can be blamed for some extent, but it has some drawbacks also. Little or no face-to-face interaction makes it monologue and not a real dialogue. Building relationship with the instructor will require more effort. An online course typically require a great amount of reading and assignments than the traditional classes, and it requires intense self-discipline and strong self-motivation. Online course usually have deadlines for assignment, test, etc. But that's not the problem. The problem is the time management and the organization skill. And that is necessary to stay on top of the work. A non-existent rigor of assessment, I think you are the best person to think about it and make the solution gradually. And then I can list up the drawbacks. It is also inaccessible to the computer illiterate population, and less social interaction can lead to feeling of isolation, and the lack of infrastructure also a bar. So in our society, it is not the universal problem, but yeah, particularly for our society, still we don't have good internet connection in many places. So if we move to slide number, so now I have managed to give a brief overview of the online system and online education system going on, and some benefits and drawbacks in a very brief discussion. But now I will share some of my experience working in CERN and staying in Estonia and Tallinn, and to just motivate you that how online system can change the life style or the life level and how it is. So I will briefly give some use of this latest technology by these two organizations here. So I am on slide number 8. So CERN, as already Dr. Bormon has mentioned, that I am been associated with the CERN from last 11 years. So CERN is one of the world's leading research center for fundamental physics, and its biggest impact is due to great scientific discoveries. About 16,000 scientists of more than 110 different nationalities work together to study the basis constitute of matter and fundamental particles. So here actually the Tim Berners-Lee, a British physicist, invented the World Wide Web, WWW, that is the internet, in 1989 while working at CERN. So the original aim was to facilitate the exchange of interaction between researchers working together on the primary mission of the prestigious Laboratory for Fundamental Physics. But it certainly CERN's innovation with the highest impact on our daily life. So I'm moving to slide number 9. So here actually the complex detector, the size of 6-story building, record billions of collisions per second, and the scientists across the globe use the worldwide LHC computing grid, which is called the WLCG, to analyze the data. The WLCG is a distributed computing infrastructure providing more than 500,000 CPUs and 500 petabyte of data storage in over 200 computer centers in 35 countries. And video conferencing has played an essential role in CERN's operations since 1996.
Yes.
So I was telling that the CERN is using the video conferencing system from 1996, and now I think the video conferencing has, well, it was popular for the last few years in our society in West Bengal, but I think COVID-19 has made it more popular that video conferencing is going on. But you can think that from 1996 it is going on. It is not a very recent idea. So, and CERN holds thousands of monthly video conferencing meetings and hundreds of large meetings to cover different group meetings. and lectures, seminars, small and large conferences, etc. And there's a web page called Indico. It's a web application is used every day at CERN to. Yeah, I was talking about the CERN's use of online system, and the last point was that CERN uses Indico web page for everyday use at CERN to manage the more than 600,000 events of different complexities and 200 meetings and conference rooms. So now I will give a brief description. Sorry, I am on slide number 10. Can you see my slide, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now I will talk about the use of technologies in everyday life of Estonia. So it named the most advanced digital society in the world by Wired. Estonians are pathfinders who have built an efficient, secure, and transparent ecosystem that delivers great value during the pandemic and beyond, saving lives, time, and money. Estonian residents have ID cards, which is not only identification documents, but it's also gateway to simplicity. One can use it for online authentication and for many e-service like healthcare, electronic banking, signing contract, public transit, encrypting emails, and voting, etc. So encrypting emails and voting also. And Estonian says that they do the state service work almost 99% in online, and Estonians are using internet voting from 2005. And they have e-healthcare system which keeps record of each patient, and e-prescription are handled online. Actually, they don't use the paper prescription. So the digital revolution in Estonia aims to implement modern digital technology more efficiently and effectively in learning, teaching, research, and to improve the digital skill of the entire nation. So concerning closing the school during this crisis, teaching and learning have moved fully online. To support the teachers and parents in this new situation, Nordic countries have opened up their e-learning solutions for the world for free. So if some organization or some countries wants, they can contact and they can get the whole online solutions available ready-made system actually. Okay, so now I'm moving to slide number 11. So people can open their slide on 11. So we have missed the boat of online system at right time, surely, and maybe it was not good time for us due to lack of infrastructure. But COVID-19 is not only a curse to us, but it creates the opportunity to advance our education system. So the new online education system will not be like present online education. I think the combination of online system with present infrastructure of traditional education will make it more efficient and effective. The online education is not transposing the classroom to online medium without applying the science of digital learning. And it also not the online learning is not a library of video lectures and ebooks that converts the classroom into PDFs. So we need to learn from experts to implement it properly and effectively. So I want to talk a little more about the new hybrid online education system idea. So with the current situation, the new online education system is evolving every day. The people of cities with good infrastructure are already using this at the primary school level also. There are plenty of medium for online class such as Google Classroom, Google Meet. We are attending the meeting with this, Zoom, etc. There are plenty. So people are doing video lectures using live streaming, using YouTube, Facebook, etc. Online assignments are given, online quizzes are taken. People are using different mode of online exam. Even I heard that some institutes are taking the online exam, keeping the video on. So there are some invigilator also watching that people are giving their exam at home, and so invigilator watching the video that people are giving exam properly or not. So this type of methods are already running in the city with the good internet and good infrastructure. So, and virtual labs are also there with the simulation. So these are already there. So, but now we will discuss it. I am on slide number 13. So now we will discuss it for the place where infrastructure is not good. So there we need to develop infrastructure for online system. We have to buy computers, servers, online space, web page, internet connection, softwares, etc. As like we have libraries and labs in every institute. So this is the new way of education. So as we build up the library in every institute, like that we have to develop our infrastructure for the use of online education, online system. So we need dedicated manpower for this also, like system administrator, technical support staff, to maintain the web page and organize all classes and meeting to make everything available online. I think many faculties need training of using gadgets and softwares for making online presentation and prepare notes in PDF, etc. So, and I also think some students also need learning session to access and use the online materials easily. I think there are some students in each college who don't have and can't buy smartphone. So college can buy few smartphone for those needy students to use it, or can give some scholarship. I know that every college had some scholarship scheme already, and it is, I know, for, as I said, that I will emphasize the problems outside the city and where infrastructure is not good. And I understand that there will be many students who will be with lack of infrastructure and they don't have smartphone. So I was discussing with this problem to give this talk. I was discussing with professors from my college, Bangabasi College, and they also agreed this point that it's a really difficult difficulties. And my professor was saying that it can be doable with some extent, such as where number of students are less, so for like honors classes, but for pass course there are many students and there will be many needs. So it is not as easy as we think, but we have to do something. I think at least you are the good people to think about it, and I think I will request to at least think this way, and at least you can approach to the government level also, that to start and run the education we have to do something. And we, because of some students don't have or don't carry, because of those students we can't keep topic in the education system months after months. So anyway, so I'm going to slide number 14. So still there are many places with poor internet connection, and it is not possible to do the live classes, etc. So there I have listed some possible solutions. So we can think it this way, that we can make the collection of ebooks and notes in PDF format and upload those in college website. We can provide the video lectures, but for the moment I think you can just start collecting good videos, and there are plenty are available online. So choose the good one and make the list of your according to your syllabus and your topics, and suggest the students to follow those links, and with the time by week, and you make a live chat if possible, some places in video or audio or even chat, only written chat mode, and create different chat groups like in Skype or WhatsApp, and discuss the problems in a group, and personally also communicate with emails and message. But anyway, we have to open and run. And please, I have tried to do list of probable solutions to open and run the education system, which is completely stopped for last 4 months. But you need to be ready to cope up with the new evolving method actually, which will be good for our infrastructure. I believe experts are working hard to provide you the helpful guidelines. And for example, as Professor Roy yesterday mentioned, that this is the time actually we have to think that do we need to reproduce the same lecture when the same lecture is already given by the great personalities already. So this is already debatable, and experts will solve this, how these things will be going on, and what will be the exact guidelines. So I am not the proper person to tell about that, but I can suggest that at least how we can open and run the education system, which is already stopped for a month and months, and there is no, still I heard that there is still no proper guideline how it will be open and how it will continue. So in conclusion, I can say that what I have already said, that online education and the traditional education both have benefits and drawbacks, and it cannot be told this particular system is best or worst. We could choose the best one according to our convenience and based on the suitability of the benefits. And COVID-19 has left no option but to choose the online one. And we can hope that drawbacks of online education will be overcome with time. The new hybrid online education system will gain maximum. This online, the hybrid, I am emphasizing this term because now the online system, the present online system which we have heard or what is going on before COVID-19, so that will be combination with the traditional infrastructure already. So I hope this will be the best solution. And last point I can say that it should not be stopped using after the pandemic is over, and this new norm is an opportunity to transform the education system. So actually I want to tell people or motivate people to be habituated with the online system. That's why I have shared some experience how already advanced society is familiar with it, and how long, already more than 2 decades, people are already using it. So with the limited infrastructure, we have to cope up with this gradually, but yes, we will follow it. And thanks for hearing my views. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhormik, for your nice presentation. So we'll move for discussion session. Hello? I am audible? Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Discussion session. Participants may comment, may write your comment in chat box, or if you have any question, switch on your audio and discuss with the speaker. Speaker will follow the comment box.
You can on the speaker and tell. You can speak. You can speak actually.
Okay. Anyone? Okay.
Sir, I am sir. Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening. One by one. Yes, one by one.
Sir, you mentioned that online education and conventional education that we are providing. So my point is that online education, do you think that online education system is 100% substitute for conventional education? It is true. To my point, it is not actually true.
Yeah, I have also mentioned. I have already mentioned that it had many drawbacks, and I am emphasizing that the present infrastructure and the traditional education with the use of online system, it will be the best.
Please.
But till you can't go to college, in that time we have to use the online system, and I think without online infrastructure, online system, then the traditional education system will lack and will not be good enough to compete with the others.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
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 Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
So, thank you for your interactive session. My question is, what can be the alternative of teaching learning process except online classes in this COVID-19 situation, as many of us don't have online access?
Yeah. I don't think in the higher education it will be a many. It's my personal assessment. Maybe I am wrong, but in my assessment that in higher education at least it will not be many. Of course there will be some fraction. So college and the government have to have some action. Otherwise, for the the small fraction, we can't stop the whole education for the all students, right? So yes, there are some fraction. I agree, but we have to find out the solution. As proposed that college and the government can give the smartphone and internet connection, because you know that government has taken different steps in different situations. For example, we are providing the midday meal using crores of money. So we have to think about spending money to this way also, providing technology to the needy. So we have to think according to our time and the needs.
Thank you, sir.
So you are the actually this is the community. So I can see that already 250 people are already hearing. So you are the best person to think and approach to the government also. And I think yes, if you try, you will find out some solution, and our education system will not be stopped for long. So I hope you will find something.